All right, everyone, welcome to the Underestimated Podcast. Your host, Jeremy, I'm back with another episode, and what intends to be the first episode with actual video. I have played a long game with trying to get a more productive setup, and now I believe that's what I have to be best successful. So now we can finally give this thing a go. I'm not going to talk too much. I want to get straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about how special of a talent Miss Judea, aka Juju Watkins, is. Obviously, for those who may not know, but if you don't know, come on, you're under a rock. Juju Watkins is a sophomore guard who plays at the University of Southern Cal. And I mean, I'm not truly just for the occasion. I would like to. My intent is to when I record, which is to be in the attire of whatever sport it is that I'm covering. So, unfortunately, I do not have any women's sports memorabilia, but in due time, I'm gonna get me some, and we'll work that out. So, but I do have this Los Angeles shirt, and I do want to say that I'm not the type to be in tune with the news or anything, because I truly stay away from it because I deem it as depressing. So I try to stay from the news as much as possible. But the the wildfires that have been transpiring in California has truly been depressing. Actually, has hit home for me to a certain degree because I just think it's truly sad. That's been going with, I think it's Palisades, and my heart goes out to everyone who's suffering in that realm of disparity right now, and prayers to all of you. And I got the Los Angeles shirt, so I'm not into him, but kind of into him. But anyway, let's get into this. So, as of right now, as far as college basketball is concerned, I would absolutely say that Juju Watkins, now with Caitlin Clark being gone and then the WNBA, Juju Watkins is the best women's player in college basketball. I think it's her and Paige Beckers. You can say 1 and 1A. I think it's Juju. And I also have a neck for, when you're a scorer, that's obviously great. But I have a knack for players who play both sides of the ball. Not saying that Paige Beckers does not, because she absolutely does. But not to the extent I personally feel that Juju plays on the defensive side of the ball. I think she can come in and be the face of the WNBA. Obviously, with when you have people like Caitlin Clark now, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, obviously Taurasi hasn't retired yet, still a relevant name. Sabrina Ionescu. You got people who are going to contend with her for that spot, but I think she's going to be right there with them from the get-go. And to who she reminds me of, now, obviously you can take this with a grain of salt when I say this, but because we're talking about an all-time great here, Maya Moore, who is my favorite WNBA player of all time, that's who I see Juju Watkins as when I just watch her play, because every time I get a chance to watch her play, I watch her play because she's not only beautiful from an appearance standpoint, but her game is beautiful to watch. And so I just see Maya Moore written all over her. And so why don't we dive into like the sort of the backdrop behind Juju Watkins. Obviously, she plays for the USC Trojans. Um, Number 12. They have her listed as a combo guard on Wikipedia, but I think she's a strictly number 2 guard. 6'2". Let's dive into her resume a bit. Unanimous first team All American. Ann Myers Drysdale Award winner in 2024. USBWA National Freshman of the Year 2024. WBCA Freshman of the Year 2024. All Pac-12 team, Pac-12 All Defensive Team, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Pac-12 All Freshman Team. She was the Gatorade National Player of the Year in 2023, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American MVP in 2023, two-time California Miss Basketball in 2022 and 23, FIBA Under-17 Women's World Cup MVP in 2022, and she was the FIBA Under-16 Americans Championship MVP in 2021. Now, I'm a South Carolinian. I'm a South Carolina native, and it's obviously, that should let y'all know who I rock with as far as in totality team wise when it comes to women's basketball. I'm gonna go Gamecocks when it comes to that. But I think that there's a high possibility that we could see Juju Watkins in the national championship this year. Obviously, you got teams like UConn, Notre Dame, UCLA who beat South Carolina for the first time in like 2 seasons this year. So obviously it won't be a necessarily easy road for USC to get to the national championship, and neither will it be for South Carolina. But I think I think we needed that loss to kind of humble us a bit, and I think it's going to only make us better and stronger. But not about us, about Juju. And now that they've given her Kiki Iriafen with some help, man, I think it's scary for the things that she can do. I think she just put up 40. I think I just saw that she put up 40 recently. She actually was supposed to play today, but that game has been postponed due to obviously the tragic things that's going on in California with the wildfires and everything. So, but USC is the number 4 ranked team in the country with a record of 16-1. They've lost 1 game this season, and that was to Notre Dame with Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. So, I mean, the only game that they've lost to were to some dogs. And in that game, Juju put up 24, 5, and 6 and shot 44% from the field. Couldn't get it going from 3 that night. She was 0-5, but still, overall, in totality, a great game. So, and then, well, to piggyback on her stats for the year, Juju's averaging, around up for 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, while shooting. Oh, not to also mention 2.5 steals and nearly 2 blocks a game. shooting 35% from three, 47% from the field, and 83% from the free throw line. Shorty's incredible. Juju Watkins is literally insane. Like I said, he was supposed to play Northwestern today, but that apparently won't be happening because of the what's going on in California. So, but I mean, yeah, the way she can handle the ball, I mean, obviously the way she can shoot, make tough shots. I think that when she comes out of the NCAA in 2 years and she enters the draft in that'll be 2027, or will it be 28? I think it's gonna be 27. But yeah, whatever team picks her up, they're definitely getting a good one. But I mean, I think it's obviously safe to say that Juju is already proven why she's a generational talent. Like, from her standout high school career to her game-changing impact of how she plays at the collegiate level, she's just not going to be a player we're going to be, not just a player we're going to be talking about 1 to 2 years from now, but I mean 10 to 15 years from now. And so let's basically kind of dive into where it all began, like Juju Watkins. So Juju Watkins was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, a city that's produced its fair share of basketball legends. She grew up playing the game, and it didn't really take her long for people to notice her talent. By the time she hit Sierra Canyon, Juju was already a household name in the basketball world. She led her team to multiple championships and was named the Gatorade National Player of the Year not once but twice. And one of the most memorable moments from her high school career was when she dropped 60 points against Notre Dame High School. I mean, she's just simply incredible. As a freshman at USC, she came in with sky-high expectations, and she delivered. I mean, y'all, her freshman year, she dropped 51 points against Stanford. She quickly established herself as a leader on the team and one of the top players in the Pac-12. Now, as a sophomore, Juju has taken her game to another level. I mean, as I already mentioned, her stats earlier, but Juju's marketability is another thing that makes her stand out. Is another factor in what's going to make her be able to continue to hang with people like Asia and Brianna Stewart and Sabrina and Caitlin and Angel Reese, etc. Because her personality, even though she's kind of reserved and laid back, when she's on the court, she's a different animal. Like, she brings out that emotion and intensity when she's playing. And that's marketable for all endorsers around the world. What makes Juju special isn't just her ability to score. She's a complete player. Her defensive versatility, court vision, ability to elevate her teammates are qualities that set her apart from most players her age. She's also shown a remarkable ability to step in clutch moments, something we've seen multiple times. I mean, even this season. Her impact at USC goes beyond the stats. Juju is helping to put the program back on the map, drawing attention to women's basketball at USC in a way we haven't seen pretty much in years. When you look at Juju Watkins' career so far, it's clear that she's more than just a great player. She's a game changer. Her ability to handle pressure and perform at such a high level at a young age is incredibly rare. She's one of those players who not only dominates the game but also elevates it. So beyond the court, Juju's career highlights the growing opportunities for women in basketball. She's already signed significant NIL deals, showing that women's basketball players can be just as marketable as their male counterparts. And so this is a huge opportunity for the sport's growth and also its visibility. Now, Juju's story is also about representation. As a young black woman excelling at the highest levels of her sport, she's inspiring the next generation of athletes. Her success proves that with talent and hard work, anything is possible. So, what's next for Juju Watkins, right? As a sophomore, she still has time to build on her already impressive resume. But if she continues to develop her game, there's no question that she'll be the number one pick in the WNBA draft when she decides to declare. Her potential doesn't stop at being a great player. Juju has the charisma to be marketable and to be the face of the WNBA. Like I already mentioned, she could potentially remind you of Brianna Stewart and Asia Wilson simply because they're all athletes who dominate the game, but also have a significant impact off the court. So what excites me most about Juju is her potential to grow the game. She's already doing so much for women's basketball, and she's just getting started. She's only a sophomore. Imagine what she could achieve in the next 5 or 10 years, which she will very much still be relevant. One thing that often gets overlooked when we talk about Juju Watkins is just how dominant her high school career was. Like, she's been killing it in college, obviously, but like many people like to say, she ain't new to this, she true to this. And, let's take a clear look at her time at Sierra Canyon. She didn't just lead her team to a state championship, or actually state championships. She put on a performance that will be talked about for years. It wasn't just about the numbers, though. It was her leadership on and off the court. Coaches, teammates, and even opposing players have praised her maturity and poise, which are qualities that are rarely seen in athletes her age. She also faced immense pressure, as one of the most hyped prospects in the country. Imagine being a teenager with national media attention, college scouts at every game, and fans comparing you to legends. Yet, Juju handled it all with grace, focusing on her game and getting better every day. That's what separates her from being not just being a good player, but a great one. And the ability to thrive simply under the spotlight. In her senior year, she averaged 27 points and 14 rebounds a game, leading her team, Sierra Canyon, to a 31-1 record. So how about we dive deeper into how Juju has improved her game in her sophomore season. This season. One area that stands out is her efficiency. Compared to her freshman year, Juju is shooting, like I said earlier, 47% from the field, showing that she's taking smarter shots and finishing better at the rim. Her playmaking has also taken a step forward. She's averaging 4 assists per game this season, which speaks to her ability to read defenses and find open teammates. On defense, Juju has elevated her game as well. She's averaging, like I said, 2 steals and 2 blocks, and is a key part of USC's defensive strategy. Whether it's down or locking down an opposing scorer or coming up with a big play in crunch time, Juju's impact on defense is just as significant as her offense, honestly. Two-way player, you know? And what's exciting is that she's only scratching the surface of her potential. If she continues to work on her three-point shot or expand her mid-range game, which is impeccable, if you ask me personally, she'll be nearly unstoppable. Notably, in her recent game against Penn State, she had 35 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks. Shot 87% from the field. And also 67% from 3. And 32 minutes. I mean, she's special, and there's honestly no getting around that. Now it's impossible to talk about how Juju's how she's, how do I want to put this? Just her overall impact on women's basketball as a whole. At a time when the sport is gaining more attention and respect, honestly. Juju is one of the faces who was leading that charge. Like, now, me personally, I've always enjoyed watching women's basketball. Like, to me, basketball is what I would consider basically my first love. And to see beautiful women playing the sport of basketball, it couldn't get any better if you ask me. So, but Juju's presence at USC, is drawing more fans to women's basketball. Attendance at games has gone up. Social media engagement is through the roof. And highlights of her performances are regularly going viral. This isn't just good for USC, but it's also good for the sport as a whole. She's also part of a new generation of athletes benefiting from NIL deals, which has given more women's players unprecedented opportunities. Juju's partnerships with major brands not only shows her marketability, but also shifts the perception about women's sports. And so brands are starting to see the value of investing in female athletes, and Juju is at the forefront of that movement. Beyond the numbers and business impact, Juju is inspiring young girls everywhere. When they see her dominating on the court and thriving off of it, it sends a powerful, image and message. Women's basketball isn't just worth watching, it's worth celebrating. And recently she was featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids, further highlighting how her growing influence in the sport is not just impacting people her age and even older, but also the younger girls around the world. And so I think Juju is special, and I'm excited to see what else she puts together this season. Not just that, like I said, she's only a sophomore. I think she's 19, maybe 20. I think she's 19. So, like I said, she still has 2 more years of college, and then when she hits the pros, I mean, obviously, that is, for an athlete, the biggest transition. But I think she will move along smoothly because she can take the physicality. Now, obviously, the beating that she will be getting in the WNBA won't be comparable to necessarily what she's had to endure while in college. But I still think that she'll be just fine. I wish she kind of come out the gate and be swinging for the fences like Caitlin Clark did when she came into the WNBA. Maybe not, but I don't think she'll be too far behind, and I don't think her expectations from everyone as a whole will be too far behind from when Caitlin Clark first came into the WNBA. And so, like I said, I'm doubling down on it, and I'll double back on it if I have to. Like Juju Watkins, I'm saying it here, right now, right here, right now. Juju Watkins is and definitely the best player as of right now in women's college basketball, and I mean, I don't see how you could go against it. I do think she'll take USC to another deep playoff run, tournament NCAA tournament run, March Madness this season. I think they're guaranteed an Elite Eight, and I think they'll. Like I said, I had them. Well, put it like this: from what I've seen in college basketball this year, from the women's side, the most intriguing national championship game to me would be USC and South Carolina. That's just me personally. Now, from a team perspective, maybe would Notre Dame or UConn or UCLA or Texas, etc., be a better matchup for South Carolina? Potentially, yes. But for me personally, to see Juju and Kiki go up against, Raven and Breezy and Tessa and the crew, I personally would love that because we didn't get that opportunity. We haven't seen Juju play South Carolina yet in her college tenure. So, for me personally, I would absolutely love to see that. But that's all from me. Appreciate y'all tuning in to episode, I believe this is 33 of the podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all know my personal and the podcast socials will be linked somewhere within this contraption of media production. For those who just want the now only audio version of the pod, you can either go to Spotify, or now I finally have the podcast accessible on Apple Podcasts. So if that's where you get your podcasts, it is there accessible now. There is a gap between 28 and 32. So episodes 29, 30, and 31 aren't on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So I apologize for that. I just lost those audio files, so I wasn't able to retrieve them, so I couldn't get that stuff back. But everything from episode 1 to 28, and then 32, the most recent one, about, I think I was talking about, hold on, let me check to be sure. Yeah, I was absolutely about to be wrong. It was the one addition that I felt as if could change the All-Star game forever. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Always love from my side. Always remember, don't underestimate, appreciate. Without further ado, gone.